Hold on. Yeah, okay, I'm here. Okay, well, I just went live. Well, given that JG is just sitting here playing music, well, nobody is in there because I guess he wants the topic, but I guess there really isn't any. I don't know, but I decided to go live because why not? I don't know if anyone wants to join. I know they're still over at JG's I know they're still over at JG's stream, so there's that. Da, 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 da. If anyone wants to join, pin. There we go. Do I have anyone backstage? No, I just posted it, of course. Let's see. Uh, da, da, da. I don't know. People are still over in the side chat, talking to whoever. Oh, hey, PJ, you asshole.
Hey, what's up, man? What's the
Well,
kids are popping? The
I
kids
don't
are popping off over there. What's the excitement about?
I don't know what the fuck JG is doing, but he's been
Yeah,
really. It's been 2 fucking hours. Anyone let anyone on? Like,
he's
yeah,
been
there was
greedy with this pussy. I tell
Saint.
you.
Yeah, yeah, they were stuck with Saint Tommy talking to Eric, but then he didn't.
Huh.
Uh, like I gave the link. Like I actually no,
Mm,
I can't post any links in the chat because
mm. No
it
wrench.
won't. Yeah, no wrench.
Mm.
I mean, I guess I can post it, but it wouldn't be clickable. You know what I mean?
Copy pastable though.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have a wrench in JG's
No,
stream?
nope. Me don't have no wrench. I only
Well, you
talked to
have
JJ
no
a couple
life.
times. He didn't. Oh yeah, I don't know if he digs me too much.
Yeah, I've talked to him before. I didn't really like him. His view on objective morality is
Mm.
just bizarre once you really dig deep,
uh,
right? Because okay, you have
mm,
objective morality, but how do you know that if that objective morality is actually good, right? Is
mm.
actually fair? Is actually leads to good actions and good results, right?
Right.
So it's like okay, well, there's an objective morality, but if there's an objective morality, can you not question it? Can it not be changed?
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
there are objective rules that says you need to let's go fucking crazy here. You need you know
Mm.
you need to cut your child's pinky finger when he's born,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Because the pinky finger is evil. It's immoral to have a pinky finger, and
Yeah.
people do it. Is
Uh
that moral? What makes having a pinky finger immoral? Like
huh.
crazy shit like that. You know what I mean?
That is weird. When they start to try to get into that weird, avenue of where some a bad outcome is supposed to be represented as a good for the whole or something like that. But yeah, that's just when you involve religion and shit like that, it just gets really fucked up
Yeah.
quick. Because then you're gonna throw in dying babies and all that stuff, of course. And where's the good in that? And then they'll argue, well, if your great grandma was never raped in a cave, you wouldn't be here. That's good. You know.
Well, I mean, I do like what Pixie said. In
Mhm.
that in Ace's stream the other day, because she
What's
read a
that?
book. Like I think it was the book The Cabin, right? Where at one point the guy meets God, and he's like, "Why
Mm,
don't you punish the man who hurt my daughter?" Okay, well, should I
mm,
punish the man who hurt him?
mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like where do you draw the
Yeah,
line? Like I understand that argument, but at the same time, it just seems just
yeah,
stupid in a way.
it does
Like,
because especially when the person's a Christian, because then it just turns it all upside down, and a lot of
oh
crimes
yeah,
are
hold on a
committed
sec.
by Christians.
Hey, Serb. I was actually,
Hey,
I was,
sir,
I
what's up?
was actually, I was actually gonna email you, not email. I was just gonna post the link in Discord, but you're here because it's public. How you doing?
Oh, too bad. I don't know what we're talking about, but I say punish everyone.
Well,
Right
well,
on.
right now, right now,
Give what
right
they
now, I'm just
deserve.
picking. Right now, I'm just picking a stream because JG is sitting here. It's sitting here doing nothing, playing music, and there's literally been no action other than the side chat.
Well, he
Right,
likes
so I was
lo-fi
like,
beats. It's okay.
if
You can
right, he
like
likes
lo-fi
lo-fi beats, but at the same time, the title is like, "Hey, you know, people talk big in the side chat, but won't come on. Put the goddamn link. There's people.
Yeah,
There's
but
people who want
do
to
you
come
think
on.
do you think it's possible that he says that because he's trying to just have a side chat?
I guess, but at the same time, he's trying to have his position proven right. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird. Oh, hang on a sec. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up,
I
dude?
was wondering who the fuck this was. I took a chance. I took a chance because I didn't know who it was. But hey, well.
Well, hey.
But yeah, JG is still playing music, which is like fine, I guess, if you like low beat hip hop or whatever that was. But there was some music that reminded me of a Mega Man X stage. I don't know what it was about that. But I was like, am I playing Mega Man X right now?
Reminds me of background music for a Knight Rider episode.
Oh. So I went to I went to go watch Nostalgia Critics the Flash review. The newest Flash movie that came out and bombed. It was a half hour. I watched that. Then I go back to JG's and he's still doing it. I was like, what the fuck? Uh, actually wondering if JG will show up, or Lionheart or Liarheart. I don't know. It's
Show
confusing.
up where?
Here.
Oh no, that they don't even know you exist, bro.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's a blessing and a curse.
Well, they don't have anything to guilt. You're not a believer, so they don't have any way to guilt you or make you afraid of hell or anything like that. So they won't waste their time with you if they can't manipulate you.
Well, I guess that's good. Let's see. Psychic Blood Brother. Let's see. What does this say over here? Hang on. I'm blind as a bat, even using the magnifier. Tester of the sheep. So do you test the sheep as well as protect them? Or do you hurt the
I
sheep?
misspelled it. It should say taster of the sheep. My bad.
Like, how do you test sheep? That's what I was wondering.
Oh wow,
Okay,
I have reverse dyslexia because I read taster.
Oh wow. So who do you think the sheep are that I'm talking about, Sparkle?
The sheep are the believers in Christ, because Christ is usually portrayed as a shepherd, and Christians are usually lost sheep or lambs, or is Christ the lamb? Actually, no. Christians
However,
are sheep.
the point being is they acknowledge that they're sheep. They're one of the few groups that are proud of being cattle. And so I'm just here to test them before their preachers shear them.
I know you don't always slaughter sheep, but it's kind of weird that they're proud of being cattle when cattle gets killed. So that's
Yeah, it's
weird.
an interesting use that the Bible chooses the people as sheep, something that in their time period, their own time period, were used, for wool, but also for food, milk, all that. Basically just livestock. And God's like, yeah, you're my livestock. I love you. You're delicious.
Well, sheep do seem to be natural followers, so I guess that's why we use the sheep metaphor for them, because they're followers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, put that label on them.
Smoke.
It's almost like they're not only honored but subjected to do so, or it's all fear of God and fear of death.
Yep.
You could train. Go ahead.
I was like, the thing is, you can herd goats and cattle too. So then the next question is, why did they pick sheep?
Yeah, but goats always escape everything. Goats always find a way out or through or over. Sheep will just wander around.
Yeah.
And follow
Sheep are kind of
the-
stupid, if I'm being
And
honest.
easy to
Yeah,
fuck over.
Sheep will try to get away. They'll even try to fight back sometimes. They're smarter. Sheep just kind of sit there and let you kill them.
Exactly. So that's why that's why they use sheep. Back.
I just like to
Uh,
prove that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh my God! Richard Madison just showed it in the chat.
Madsen.
Madsen.
Did he? I don't see it. Where?
In no, not my chat.
Oh, and JG's.
Yeah.
I see that. Let me show him some love.
Yep. Richard is back, baby. Woo! I mean, it's not even winter, so it's like, okay, good thing he's back. I love me.
JG's music is fine the first hour.
Yeah, it's
But then-
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, even
I had
fixes
a
like
good-
Ledge. Go ahead.
I was going to say to Mac, yeah, I talked to Richard yesterday in Aces, and we talked till the show closed, him and Cade and I, and then we continued to talk for like 3 hours afterwards. And yeah, it's just been really good to see Richard back around. He's been working really hard.
You mean Will Kincaid?
What did I say? Did I say Will Kincaid at some point?
You said Cade.
Cade. No, that has nothing to do with Will Kincaid. That's the guy's name, Cade.
Okay.
Mac knows what I'm talking about. It's over in Ace's room.
All right.
He's a regular over there, yeah.
Yeah, you said Cade. I thought you meant. Never mind.
Yeah.
But
Cade did real awesome too, Mac. He listened and basically took the time to understand that Richard's not. He's not just pulling this out of his ass. Like he's on about something.
yeah. I mean, I do find Richard's beliefs about aliens pretty interesting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, sometimes they got to go with your gut feeling, you know.
Well, my gut feeling says that I don't exist. That we all live in a simulation, the Matrix.
There you
Not
go.
really. I don't fucking know. It's an interesting. Futurama actually had a very good episode about that. Like it was the last episode of season 8, but even though Hulu says season 11, it's kind of weird. It's really, really good if you want to watch it.
What was it about? What was like the theme of the episode?
Well, Professor Farnsworth creates a simulation that looks like Minecraft, basically. They're just blocks. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so he creates a simulation of the entire universe. They go about their business or whatever. Then he makes some modifications to the machine that actually causes the simulation to be more graphical, like better graphics.
Mhm.
To which then that simulation actually looks like the
The
real
actual-
world's going on. Yeah, the
yeah.
actual whatever.
I
But then
remember
that
I remember
simulation,
that one, yeah.
yeah. But then that simulation does another simulation. So it's like you
Mhm.
have Farnsworth, another Farnsworth, and another Farnsworth. And then it's like, how deep does it go? You know what I mean? It was definitely
Yeah.
interesting.
I got
They
good
had a lot of interesting like concepts and ideas, like that one that they had the separate movies, that came out, the 4-part episodes. That one with the represents almost like what a type of heaven. The what is it called? The something with a million backs or billion
Yeah,
backs.
the
where-
beast with
Beast
the
with the
billion
billion
backs.
Yeah, you have to be part of one, and everybody has to be all together as one in order to be in heaven and happiness. And people just can't, doesn't feel right.
Well, it's actually funny. That movie came out right after the first movie. Where they had I think
Bender's big something, right?
yeah, Bender's big score to where
Yeah.
he travels through time to steal
Mhm.
stuff,
Yeah, that's a
and
good one. That's
then
funny.
and then and then
Is that the
and then
101100111000111?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then you have Lars, which turns out to be a version of Fry.
Yeah, 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 right. Yeah.
I loved
That's,
that movie.
I like the
They
oh.
completely fuck it up with the second movie. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? He spends the entire movie longing for Leela, yet in the
Mhm.
second movie he hooks up with a fucking crazy person to start a cult. Like, what the fuck? You know what I
They
mean?
definitely keep that show interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Oh, nope. Still. Well, Will Freeman's left.
Oh.
No, I really like.
Might have been the cartoon talk, I don't know.
Well, probably. I don't know. Probably. Who knows?
They're just gonna Robotech with the giants, the machines and how they that's
I would play the episode, but YouTube's going to be like, no, fuck you. You're playing Hulu. I'm gonna take away their stream.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because it is a good episode. They really do give like good explanations as to why, the universe could be a simulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh definitely. Yeah. I have a lot of cool Futurama is one of my favorite shows. I don't usually watch TV shows, things like that, but I can just watch in the background, one
Yeah,
of those
but
types.
you know what? Let me try again.
Mhm.
You know what I really like about Futurama as well as The Simpsons? It's literally written by people who have PhDs in mathematics and science. It's like,
Oh man, you see that Globetrotter episode where they had the
Yeah,
boxes with those
yeah.
different dimensions? They had to bring the
Yeah.
Globetrotters in to figure the math out. And
Yeah.
Barnes was like, math never works. And at the end, he's like, we got to use math.
Do you remember the episode where they switch brains?
I have to. I seen a mod. This guy there's just so many of them.
Well, yeah, well, no. It's the episode where they, where I think it was the professor and Amy switch brains,
Oh
and
yes,
in
the
order to
body
figure
part,
it
yeah.
out, and in order to
Mhm.
figure it out, how to get back in it, the guy who wrote the episode created a whole formula,
Yeah.
he created
Because they had to
new
calculate the
math
route to
just
the
for
end
that.
to end up at zero when they already started off with a certain point where it's almost seems impossible to get back to it. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a trip.
It's really interesting that he created a whole new math just for the episode. What the fuck? Ah. Uh, well, I was kind of hoping some people would show up here, but
Get a little
I mean,
action going.
don't get me wrong, I do enjoy you guys being here,
Mm.
obviously.
Well, you can
Yeah,
only
but the-
nerd up the room so much.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey, Will, if you were bored with the conversation about cartoons and Family Guy, Futurama, you can come back. I think it's over now. Either that or he just went to JG's, which I think he's still playing music. It's been 2 hours, probably more.
Why are you still listening to it?
I'm not. It's on mute.
I check in once in a
Although-
while, see what's happening.
Yeah, although the side chat is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like Pixie's still in there. The Mint,
Yeah,
Sticker
I
of
wa-
Truth.
I wonder what kind
Mac.
of sparks JG's trying to ignite here because these like challenges are going off the bat and they're coming and going and like fuck it, I don't care anymore and they're coming back. It's kind of like
I don't
he's
know.
stirring it
what
around to get
the
something going on.
Fuck. I don't know what he's doing, but I
he's a
know what he's
schemer.
doing. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a.
Mhm.
Yeah. I actually have 6 people watching right now. Interesting.
Because I know he's a provoker. Because when I was talking to him in eights, it's like, oh yeah, what about oh yeah, and this oh yeah, well tell me about this, and I was like, I got done with this shit.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have some good news. Maybe good news.
Oh,
Did Eric accept your terms?
Yeah, we haven't even. Every time I mention terms, he stops talking about it.
Okay. So what's the potentially good news?
So 2 songs I sold about a year and a half ago were both recorded. So they might be
Nice.
Oh, right on, man.
And now I'm wondering how much you got for those songs.
Oh, all the deals I make for my songs are like total sums dependent on the success of the album they go on or the release it's on.
So royalties.
Yeah, I get it's a small amount. It's not a lot. It's like the most I've ever got was $7,000. The lowest I ever got was actually nothing.
Well, hey, $7,000 is still better than nothing.
Yeah. I tend to sell them to people that I actually kind of know. So it's not like I have a bunch of contacts out there in the music business. Just a handful of acts that I ran into when I was in college and playing, and then the band my babysitter started.
Wait, do you babysit your kids or babysat you when you were younger?
Babysat me.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
He did the one that I showed you. It's Stabbing Westward. That one.
You mean I Am Nothing?
Yeah.
God, I love that song. I know you wrote that song for different reasons, but I can't help but think of other reasons why I listen to that song. I'm just fucked up in the head, I guess.
Well, me and him both wrote that one.
Well, yeah. I just love it. Am I nothing? Do I mean anything to you?
We'll see how my music sounds when it's sung by a blues player.
You know, I really wish my voice was better, at least better suited to sing. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe with voice training it'll probably be better.
Yeah, you're way too tight.
Mm. Being overweight doesn't exactly help either.
Well, you do naturally what I do on purpose.
Okay, what do I do? What do I do naturally that you do on purpose?
You tighten up your upper register and just don't use your lower register.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
That's not using your lower register, but that's not tightening your upper register.
Okay, preacher,
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. Did you pretend to be a chick once? Because what the fuck?
What?
I don't know. You say yeah. It sounded like a chick.
I said, yeah. like the Rocky and Bull not again.
By the way, Erica is congratulating you.
Oh, thank you, Erica.
I miss Erica. I haven't seen her in a while. Well, I mean, I've seen her now, but you know, she hasn't been around in a while. Brian, neither has Brian Stevens. Interesting. Oh,
Yeah, out of my whole quote unquote music career, probably the best song I ever wrote, I guess both the music too and the lyrics too, was a song I didn't sell. It was a song I ended up having the band I was in play. And because the band I was in never went national, it was always regional. The song never got big, it never got exposed. So
I've never heard the song.
Maybe.
You could just resend it and see whether I did.
Oh,
Hold on.
maybe that.
Jill, what are you doing here, man? You're not Lionheart or JG. What are you doing?
What's up, Joe?
You
Again, answer my question.
did you invite Lionheart?
No.
Interrogation bunch.
I don't think he's gonna come in here. Maybe JG, but not Lionheart.
I mean, JG is still live and he's still playing music and he's still has people in the live chat. So what do you think?
Oh yeah, maybe he'll come in later.
Oh, that's every time I listen to it, it's so early 2000s.
Let me
Yeah, it's
see.
kinda
Hmm. I'll have to listen to it afterwards. I think I did listen to it, but it's still nice to probably hear good songs again. And you sure do good songs.
I do good enough songs.
Okay, you do good enough songs. I'll humble you a little bit. You do good enough.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as being too humble. Just saying.
Yeah, just about every song I sell, they do some tweaks to it, right? It's not quite exactly what they need it to be. I always have one stipulation: you can't add cowbell.
Let's see. We have 9 people watching. Although technically 8, because I'm one of them. Because I'm looking at the chat. Although technically I could just close and then look at the chat in StreamYards. There's always that.
Yeah, but like after they've added this, why would you ever
Right?
The other open? I don't.
I mean, unless you were looking to delete comments, in which case you would have your mods do it. But
I think you can. Can't you actually? I think you can actually do it from inside, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, hold on. Actually, you can only put user in timeout. You can't really delete comments in StreamYard.
Well, I mean, putting them in timeout for the comment removes the comment.
That's on YouTube. I'm not sure about StreamYard.
Oh.
Yeah, well, whatever. Nobody said anything outrageous yet.
Well, give me a second.
Oh.
Well, don't literally wait for me. You guys don't gotta be quiet while I'm doing this.
Well, no, I was just looking at the chat on JG. So I guess. So Jill, why are you here? I don't mind you having. I don't mind you having you here. Obviously.
Why are you live?
Because I wanted to go live. I'm to fuck you. I'm interrogating Jill.
Nah,
I'm
I
not
was
the one
making
being
fun of what you were
interrogated.
saying. You're just why are you even here?
I'd rather listen to JG's music.
Then why are
Okay,
you here?
then I have the same question. Then why are you here?
Yeah,
What's the topic?
literally nothing. We're
You
just
look-
having a stream because JG doesn't. I guess is not really letting anyone on. I don't know.
How to delete comments without timing out? Is that the a new feature of your cancel culture?
Have Jill talk more. I'm sure you'll get there. Oh, I'm sure I'll get there.
A new tool of the cancel
I
culture
met. I left my
society.
headphones at that account yesterday. I freaking hope it's still there.
The delete button.
I am Jesus. I mean, actually, I'm Plastic Jesus. Oh wait, no, Jesus is Plastic Jesus. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about tonight. I'm not even drunk. Although apparently you can use DoorDash to buy alcohol now, so I gotta do that one of these days. buy a giant can of Sex on the Beach, or maybe maybe some Bacardi Silver, Mike's Hardcore Lemonade. I haven't really drank White Russian anymore. I haven't really drank White Russians in a while, or Kahlua Cream. Well, I haven't drank alcohol in a while. But then, do I really want to drink alcohol and become an alcoholic? Though I guess I wouldn't become an alcoholic unless I
Not very
really
good.
drink every
That's
fucking
not a good
time.
game plan.
Well, yeah, I'm like, I'm weighing my options here. Do I want to become Wild Heart or not Wild Heart?
Do you want to go to jail? Look at the long term. Look at the goal.
Um,
Right,
I
are you
do
a third-
wonder.
Are
I
you a
do
third
wonder
option right now?
what.
Are you a third option right? You said become Wild Heart or not become Wild Heart. Are you neither of those things currently?
Well, no, I am me. Although the me that is me is hard to determine, because while I may be midnight, or my actual name, who am I really as a person? Like, I don't know. We could get philosophically crazy with this.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm thinking about that a little bit.
spooky. You know what? I'm gonna get a video. Hang on a sec. Do 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 do. Do, do, do.
Almost like how in the Christian minds, how God accepts them for being Christian, but it's in a weird way. It's like, are you following somebody to be like somebody, or are you being you that ends up being like that somebody that
Yep.
was intended to be? Yeah. Then that's
Alright.
that's good.
Finding the video. Hang on a sec. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
There, I said something outrageous in your side chat.
Okay, well, let's see. The theory of evolution has issues dealing with culture as part of the environment. Can you go more into that? Unless you were like not being serious, and that's because you know what? Go on.
What's that? I'm chewing.
No, fair enough.
So this is sort of what Richard Dawkins got famous for. Back around the times he wrote the book The Selfish Gene. There's this debate about how far does selection go? Right? There's like I've read it described a bunch of different ways, but I like the way where it's like first order, second order, like third order selection. Where like what your classical natural selection, like when you think of where people just, well, this specifically involves talking about like human beings, maybe some other apes, maybe things like dolphins, like the smarter creatures.
Yeah. Also, all social species. You could just say.
Social species that build, that have a way of interacting that can change, that isn't strictly biological. That's not all species.
Well, fair. That's not not all social species, but go on. Yeah, I think.
Because if the first order selection is like, you're too furry for the environment you're in, so you overheat, you can't compete with the things around you, and your species dies off. Right? That's that sort of thing.
Yeah, that is why humans lost their hair over time. We still have hair, obviously, but
right. And second order selection is something that's like a trait that's more broad, like intelligence. We're like, okay, maybe you're too furry for the environment that you're in, but because you evolved an advanced brain, you've learned that less fur make less hot, so you develop a way to cut off fur. So now you have a trait that doesn't fit the environment well at all, that would kill you off if you didn't have a brain. So there's that first kink, right? This thing that we expect should cause your species to die out doesn't kill you off, even though you're in an environment where it should kill you off. Well, that's because of intelligence. And then there's third order, which is where you start getting things like, well, why blue eyes? Why are blue eyes sticking around? They're
But aren't those neutral mutations? They neither have a benefit nor a detriment. That's what I heard. That the
Y-
blue
yeah,
eyes
yeah,
are just
yeah.
neutral
There's
mutations.
well, in nature, there are small differences. People with lighter eye colors are more prone. Well, people with lighter eye colors have less pigment in their eyes. It has less melanin in their eyes,
Guilty.
right? And if you have less melanin in your eyes, you're more prone to get like sun damage, right? So
Yep.
you'll go blind quicker. But you also filter out less light, so technically you can see in the dark better. Right? So they're not completely neutral, but neither of them are extreme enough
Well, yeah, no, not. I guess
to really
not
do
completely.
much anything.
Yeah, not
Especially when
completely
everyone's
neutral.
dying by the age of 30, right? It almost doesn't matter.
I think the whole. I think the
Okay,
whole.
but you stopped
dying-
my point.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So you got questions like, well, why blue eyes, right? Or why green eyes? These really rare things that are, they're not dominant traits. Like if you get a gene for brown eyes, that's it. You're gonna have brown eyes, right? Why do these things stick around? And it has to do with like cultural selection, right? Which most biologists would be like, dirty
By
word.
cultural, do you mean eugenics?
No.
You said
kind of-
cultural selection.
Kind of, but we don't normally think of it in a sense of deliberate.
Well, no, we don't. But it's still eugenics, even though it's not deliberate.
Yeah. So men, specifically men, tend to be attracted to women that are different. Right? Women are too, but men to a greater extent. So you have these zones where these traits evolve, and instead of being bred out, they're sought after.
Hmm.
Right. So you
Would
build these
a
little
mutation like that would have to involve something like, let's say, the light eye is attracted to this guy, they mutate. That's a mutation, and then a child has that. They would have to involve some type of inbreeding to keep that gene alive, right? And keep it going and cross it over. Yeah.
Yeah,
not always, but yeah, it would
sometimes
make it more likely.
inbreeding can help
That's a
a
cultural
species,
part. Yeah.
which is weird.
And what's considered inbreeding changes over time, which is another part of cultural selection.
Yep. So there you go.
Well, I mean, even like the environment too. Like you could look at the bull shark. You know, they're headed in. They're adapting to fresh water more and more, knowing that the food's there. So for some weird, not weird, but for some, a reason why they're changing or evolving to be more of a freshwater, because you're finding them all the way up, right? The Mississippi up into the Chicago area, they found bull sharks up there.
Yeah,
where they were just coming in and out, and now they're adapting to it.
Yeah, and this is this whole like topic is kind of why Richard Dawkins stopped being a biologist. He stopped publishing. He started writing popular science books and going on tours arguing with theists.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he was mostly against the idea that cultural selection could be a thing. Right? He didn't think human beings on a large scale was selective enough to do anything like that.
But then
and basically the rest, more or less the rest of the biologists sided against him. So he was kind of, he was nudged off to the side. No one gave him research funding.
Well, I mean, how can he say that when I'm assuming that there's ample evidence to show that that cultural selection did happen. Otherwise, we have a culture.
There isn't a lot of evidence. Right? What there is a bunch of traits that we know evolved within the last 10,000 years, if not sooner. Right? Most of them like the last 5,000 years, and there's no good explanation for them. Because one thing, we got to the point where we were smart enough to basically survive anywhere on the planet.
Yep.
With the exception of maybe inside volcanoes and inside the Arctic, but even in the Arctic, we can still kind of do it.
Give us
Mhm.
time. We'll survive in volcanoes eventually.
And those mutations, but even then, like bad mutations still tend to get weeded out. So then,
I was
you
just
know,
want to say
why?
I'm 5% Dolomite.
Yeah, that was Bender. So then the
Yeah.
question is, why are all these traits that are not detrimental, or could be detrimental, depending on where you are in the world? How are they hanging out so much and like proliferating?
What I want to know,
And
what I want to know is why
so some
albinism is still
explanations for it.
part. What I want to know is why albinism hasn't been weeded out. Like what the fuck? What benefits does albinism have?
Well, it doesn't really. It's a mutation that just happens every once in a while. Generally, people with albinism don't have parents that are albino. But
Yeah, I
albinos
know.
tend not to have many kids.
Yep. It was just my luck. My parents will both have the mutated allele for albinism. Thanks, Ma. Thanks, Dad. Real nice going.
Hey man, you should spread that albino seed and you'll get a job at a sperm bank.
But like I
I'd
said,
have to be healthy to do that.
like a lot of kids that are albino, their parents don't both have that mutation.
Well,
Right,
but you
I
need.
know they teach you that it's not a non-dominant trait, which is true. Which means if both your parents have it, you could end up with
Yeah, but
both bad
that's
copies and be albino.
that's how I became. That's how I was born with albinism.
But
Both my mom and
it's
dad have it. I'm assuming because
Yeah.
I was born this way.
no, but
No.
it's literally one
1 in
gene.
4. One in
No.
4.
The different thing. It's literally one gene. Like it's not even genes not even because the gene's a sequence. It's I think it's 3 pairs.
It's what
In
I
a
know. I
gene.
know. I know what you're gonna say. It's one nucleotide that's off that causes the
Yeah.
mutation, which doesn't
So
allow the gene to produce the enzyme to produce melanin. I got what you're saying.
Right. So if like really early in your development, if a stray little piece of radiation goes whizzing through your mom's body and hits that one little tiny piece of DNA, albino.
I don't.
Right. So it can't get bred out. It will always it will pop up here and there.
Well, you know what? Fuck you, nature. Okay, fuck you. Oh. Anyways, hang on a sec. I found the video. Let me just hang on. Pause. Where are you? Stream yards presents.
Now, what's really interesting is gay people. If you look up on the research for gay people, you know how they used to. That one guy said he found the gay gene, and he was wrong. He found a gay gene.
There literally is no one gay gene. It's just like there's no one intelligence gene. It's like all genes interact. God, that's fucking stupid.
Right in the middle of my story again. Okay, so there's I think there's 31. Last time I knew, there's 31 genes that are more common in gay men than in straight men, and not just that, men that have more of them tend to be less violent and act more friendly, right? They act more feminine, even if they're not gay, right? The question is, how are particular guys getting an excess of these genes in a family where the number of those genes aren't changing, right? Because if you look at a family, let's say they have 5 boys, same parents, successively each boy ends up with more of them, right? If you're a boy in a large family of boys, and let's say you're the youngest, you have the highest probability of being gay. And that's universal. That's everywhere. That's everywhere in the world. So it's biological.
I don't think they're gaining genes. I think those genes are just being expressed which is being expressed more using epigenetics. Could be wrong though, but I don't know. That just seems more, it seems more sense.
no, it's just their parent. Everyone has a certain number of these genes, right? It's not a 1 out of 4 thing. If you look into it, it's not a 1 out of 4 thing. So there's something that selects for more of those genes being put into sexual cells.
Is it the
As time
testosterone
progresses.
level of the female when she's when the child's in development? Does that determine the male or female outcome?
It's correlated.
Right. So I'm wondering if it's like there with the female, she has a family going and she knows what she has. Maybe it's almost like intuitional, and it's a regulation of not just off and on, but maybe it's a scale of testosterone that's released into what seems fit for the family.
That's not the only thing that's correlated. Like your women can get immune responses to being pregnant, right? And the immune response becomes stronger and more likely the more, and it's boys, not girls, the more boys they have.
Yeah, that's weird.
So how do you explain me being bi?
I don't know. It's probably tied to your albinism.
My little brother's a third one. He liked to wear dresses and wear makeup as a kid.
See? There it is. Yeah.
He put my mom's and sister's
it's not a guarantee, right? You could be the 10th boy and not be gay. It's just the likelihood goes up.
Joe's been so quiet lately in this conversation. I was like,
he just realized that he's the 10th boy.
Yeah, I guess we could. Do you guys want to mind watching the video, or are we done with this?
That depends on the video.
Okay, well, the beauty of collective intelligence explained by a developmental biologist.
Collective intelligence, huh?
Yes, I guarantee you will like it.
How much you paying me if I don't?
Dude, I'm broke. I'm on a shoestring budget. Okay.
Okay, I'll take shoestrings.
Welfare don't pay me enough.
I'll give you my address. You can mail me some shoestrings.
I'll buy you a Christmas gift if I have money. I don't know.
People tend to think of intelligence as being of two kinds. There is the quote-unquote real intelligence, which is what we are supposed to have. And then there's this idea of a collective intelligence. So swarms of bees, colonies of ants, shoals of fish, and so on. And people tend to think of those as radically different things. But the reality is all intelligence is collective intelligence. And this is because we are all made of parts. So you and I are collections of cells, and these cells, including neurons and various other cells in our body, have many competencies. This is because they were once separate individuals by themselves. They were unicellular organisms with all of the skills needed to survive in a complex world. And that journey that we all took, those progressive steps by which we construct ourselves, we construct our bodies, we construct our minds, that journey is maybe the most profound question in all of science. I'm Michael Levin, and I'm a developmental biologist at Tufts University. Developmental biology is maybe the most magical of all sciences because you get to see with your own eyes that journey that we all take from physics to mind. We all start out life as an unfertilized oocyte, and then slowly, gradually, step by step, that oocyte turns into a bunch of cells that self-construct an embryo, and eventually that embryo matures and becomes a large-scale adult. In the case of a human, it will be an individual with metacognitive capacities and the ability to reason, but we all have our origin in that chemistry and physics of that initial oocyte. And the magic of developmental biology is that there is a mechanism by which all of these cells get together and they are able to cooperate towards large-scale goals. This is the notion that biology uses what I call a multi-scale competency architecture, which basically means that we are not simply nested structurally in terms of cells, which comprise tissues, comprising organs of bodies, and then ultimately societies and so on. That's obviously true on a structural level. But more interesting is the fact that each of these layers has certain problem-solving competencies. Each one solves problems in their own space. So cells are simultaneously solving problems in physiological spaces and metabolic spaces and gene expression spaces, and tissues and organs are solving those problems. But for example, during embryogenesis or regeneration, they're also solving problems in anatomical space. They're trying to navigate a path from the shape of an early embryo or a fertilized zygote all the way up to the complexity of a human body with all of the different types of organs and structures. So the competency architecture refers to the fact that all of the parts inside of us and inside of all other creatures are themselves competent agents with preferences, with goals, with various abilities to pursue those goals, and other types of problem-solving capacities. What evolution has given us is this remarkable architecture where every level shapes the behavioral landscape of the levels below, and the levels below do clever and interesting things that allow the levels above not to have to micromanage and to be able to control in an interesting top-down capacity. One of the most important things about this emerging field of diverse intelligence is that we as humans have very limited capacity and finely honed ability to see intelligence in medium-sized objects moving at medium speeds through three-dimensional space. So we see other primates and we see crows and we see dolphins, and we have some ability to recognize intelligence. But we really are very bad at recognizing intelligence in unconventional embodiments, where our basic expectations strain against this idea that there could be intelligence in something extremely small or extremely large. People often criticize this approach by saying, well, then anything goes. If you can pick up a rock and say, I think this rock is cognitive and intelligent, there's a spirit with hopes and dreams inside of every rock. That's not what this is. This is quite different. As an engineer, what you have to do is you have to come up with a way to look at a particular system that doesn't overestimate its intelligence or underestimate its intelligence. If you treat complex animals as if they were clockwork, you're going to miss everything that's important and exciting about how they work. If you treat a clock as if it had a complex intelligence, you're going to waste a lot of time. But getting it right is fundamentally important. And so you have this spectrum where the engineer has to pick the right level for the right system. And it's critical not to then say, well, that doesn't sound like human intelligence. Right, we're looking for the basic minimal version. So I think it should have two things. The first thing it should have is some degree of goal directedness, some ability to take different paths to get to the same goal. So this is William James's definition of intelligence. And it has to have some ability to undertake actions that are not completely determined by local circumstances. So you start with all of that, and systems that have scaled up those basic, very fundamental, non-zero levels of agency, we call that life. So it is a spectrum, and I think that in this universe, it goes all the way to the bottom. It's very hard for people to think about these unconventional kinds of intelligences that may be either too large or too small. And of course, they often work in other spaces. So we're good with three-dimensional space, but imagine if we had a primary sense of our own blood chemistry. If you could feel your blood chemistry the way that you currently see and smell and taste things that are around you, I think we would have absolutely no problem having an intuitive understanding of physiological state space, the way we do for three-dimensional space. I think that we would immediately be able to recognize our various internal organs as intelligent agents navigating that space and solving these kind of problems, all the various things that happen during the day. And here's one of my favorite examples of problem solving in physiological and transcriptional spaces. So we have these worms, these are planaria, these are flatworms. And if you put these flatworms in a solution of barium. Barium is a non-specific potassium channel blocker. It blocks the ability of these cells to exchange potassium with the outside world. The cells really don't like it, especially cells in the head, because the head is full of neurons. Neurons love to pass potassium. And so what happens is that overnight their heads explode. Literally, it's called head deprogression. They literally lose their heads. But if you leave them in the barium, within a couple of weeks, they grow back a new head. And the new head is completely barium adapted, has no problem with the barium whatsoever. We said, how could this be? We looked at the original heads, the original naive heads. We looked at the barium adapted heads, and we simply did a subtraction and asked, what are the different genes that are expressed here? And we found out that the barium adapted heads have just a small number of genes that were turned on and off to allow them to adapt to this novel stressor. Now, here's the amazing part. Planaria never see barium in the wild. There's no evolutionary history of knowing what to do when you're hit with barium. This is not an ecological stressor that they normally have to deal with. So just imagine you're a bunch of cells and you're hit with this incredible physiological stressor you've never seen before. You've got tens of thousands of genes. What do you do? How do you know which genes to turn on and off? You don't have time to try combinations. You don't have time for an exhaustive search. You don't have time for hill climbing. You don't have time to try random things because you'll probably kill the cell long before you solve the problem. And yet you were able to navigate from where you are to where you need to be to escape this physiological stressor. And so what I think evolution has done is pivoted some of the same tricks from very simple systems that only solve metabolic problems, eventually to physiological, and then to transcriptional problems. And when multicellularity comes on the scene, large-scale anatomical problems. And so it's never a question of, is something physics and chemistry or is it cognitive? The question is, what kind of cognition and how much?
So what'd you think?
It was okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, I played that video to make the point that all of us have think that, okay, look, hang on. I am Midnight. Okay, Serb is Serb and Jill is Jill, right? We think we think we are just ourselves. You know what? Never mind. I don't know how to articulate what I want to say. I think you get it anyway. Anyways, I'm gay. Woo!
Ish.
Yeah, ish. Yes. Yeah. Well, GeoSam, if you don't buy the collective mind thing, well, that's on you, buddy. That's on you.
Well, that wasn't really a collective mind. That was kind of saying small things have tiny minds. Mind might not even be the right word for what he was describing. I don't think he used the word mind, right? He used intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mind has connotations of like personality and stuff.
Yeah. I really wish there was a way to accurately measure intelligence and describe it, because yeah, there are many ways to describe intelligence. There are many types of intelligences, like spatial intelligence, linguistic intelligence, and all that. Not to mention crystallized intelligence and fluid intelligence, but that deals more with how open you are to new information, with the information you already know, which that's
Mhm.
crystallized intelligence. You know,
Mhm.
not to mention neuroplasticity. Like when you're little, like your mind, your mind is so open that you believe anything, right? But as you grow up, as you grow up, those neurons that fire together wire together, right? So the more you're exposed to a belief, the more the
You
more.
still believe anything,
What was that?
and you still believe almost everything or anything.
Okay, can you? I didn't hear you. What?
I said nothing has changed. You still believe anything.
I'm pretty sure that's not true. What do I believe?
It
Anything?
is.
What do I believe? Do I believe evolution? Is that what you're going with? Do I believe in the Big Bang? Do I believe, like, what is your point, Jill?
In Darwin's day, they used to think that the fertilized human egg was merely a blob of gelatin. But now that we started listening to more Christian thinkers, we know that it's the most ordered, complex structures in the universe,
I'm pretty
the
sure we
entire
still. I'm pretty sure we still
known
know that.
universe.
I'm pretty sure that we still know that that a human zygote is still the most complex thing in the universe, and actually, it's the brain that's considered the most complex thing in the universe. And
No,
again,
Which is
life in
most
general is
complex thing known.
so
known. Fair enough, but whatever.
in the entire known universe, I should say.
Oh my fucking god, Jill, are you?
I'm not sure what the point was.
Yeah, I don't know where Jill is going.
That is the point. It is the most ordered, complex structure in the entire known universe. The only
Yeah.
the parts that you know about, what's that, about 2%? They say suggest we only know about or have discovered about 2% of the universe. I have to look it up. I can't remember. It was 2 or 5%. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the people
What
that
do you
study
know?
this stuff know more.
Yeah, so
know more than all of us combined in this room. So for us to
Yeah.
say that we only know 2% of the universe is kind of like saying
I know
I don't know.
someone who knows.
Just say what you want to say about abortion because I know that's where you want to go.
Is that?
No,
That
no.
sounded
Yeah.
like
Well,
you want to be anti-evolution, not so much abortion.
abortion is murder, but okay. If that's what you wanted me to say something on abortion.
I have
Is
anti.
it, is it murder though?
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, it's killing, but it's not murder.
Yeah, let's
Like
just say
murder,
it's killing. How
But-
does killing become murder?
There's got to be one
Murder
doctor
is-
out there that really
Look up the
enjoys it.
definition of murder.
Yeah.
Let's look up the definition of murder. We'll use your dictionary. Murder is the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So if it's legal, it's not unlawful, then is it?
Right. Right.
So then it wouldn't be murder; it'd just be killing.
It is unlawful.
Oh my fucking god.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't. Not as far as I know, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can create your own laws, sure.
Yeah.
But there's an ultimate lawgiver who says it's
I don't
murder.
remember. I don't
So,
remember
he
anywhere
also
in the
said the
Bible that said
Nazis-
abortion
Hey,
was
JG.
wrong.
He also said the Nazis were murderers as well. So
Hey, look, find me a
They didn't
passage
think
that
it was
says
unlawful.
"Thou shalt not abort," and
they
I'll be
didn't think
right
it
there
was
with you.
unlawful to
Jill,
kill
let
Jews
people.
either.
Jill, if you're gonna be on here, let people talk. Go ahead, sir.
I'm just show me the part in the Bible where it says "Thou shalt not abort," and then I'll agree with Joe.
So the Nazis didn't think it was unlawful to kill Jews.
That's not
so-
God's word at all.
So there you go. So there you
Who
go.
cares? I don't
You're
care
in
about
good
the
company.
Nazis.
You're in good company.
I mean, Hitler was a vegetarian. Like, what you want from
Hitler
me?
was a vegetarian, but he
Yeah,
didn't think
the
it was lawful
Nazis
to kill. He
instituted
didn't think it
social
was lawful.
welfare.
He didn't think it was lawful to kill. Did he? Or did he? Oh yeah, he did.
Hitler, yeah, Hitler thought it was lawful to kill. Yeah,
Okay.
just like we do. We think it's lawful
Yeah.
to kill too.
Yes. Yes.
Jill.
Innocent children.
Yeah, so does
Jill.
God. God thinks it's also lawful
Innocent
to kill.
children. Yeah.
So God's in good company then too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
God exists?
Well, you say he exists,
No.
don't you?
Okay. I thought we were talking about humans. Now we want to switch to God. So why don't we just
No,
turn?
no.
Why don't
I'm
we
just
just
saying
switch
God's
to-
in good company.
Why don't we just switch to animals? Lions are in good company as well, huh?
Yeah.
Bum,
Same
bum,
company.
bum.
Killing's fine.
So we recognize that humans are on its own level, and we're talking about humans' behavior, not animal behavior, not the behavior of a snake or a lion or a tiger or a bear.
I wasn't talking about animals.
Okay, we're not talking about
humans
killing a
animals.
bear. Did the bear murder his the rival? What? No, we don't call that murder because we understand that this is a human context. So don't try to
Yeah,
elevate it.
I wasn't
to
bringing
Well,
up
the bear was
animals.
wearing his hat when he left.
because you can't
Okay,
defend
order
it
in the court.
because you
whatever.
can't defend it on a human level. You want to elevate it to a god level.
I think
So
we should
why don't we
pass a
just
rule
lower
that Jill
it
has
to
to
a-
stay on
what-
topic.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, hold on.
Wait a minute,
Jill,
midnight.
Jill,
Wait a minute, midnight. I was
Oh,
talking.
Yeah,
You cut me off.
I think we need some censorship because
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
didn't bring up animals.
No,
You
no,
brought up animals.
There's no moderation now, huh?
So
Midnight, huh?
why criticize what I'm
So
saying
your
based on something
greatest
that you
problem,
brought up?
Midnight, is not your albinoism. It's your hypocrisy. That's your greatest problem.
what is my hypocrisy? What the fuck are you
That
talking
now he's
about?
running.
He was just cutting me. He was just cutting me off, and I was speaking. You didn't interrupt. You didn't say, "Hey, don't do that. We're not going to do that on this channel." When he interrupted me, but when I interrupted him, which really wasn't an interruption, you jumped on
I
the
can explain that.
opportunity.
Okay,
Jumped
okay,
on the opportunity.
okay.
So,
So
real quick,
being an
Midnight, I can
albino is
explain
not
that. The difference
problem.
is when you were
It's
interrupting
being a
me.
liberal.
Jill,
That's
you
your
talk
problem.
too much and don't let other people talk. Shut the fuck up a second.
That's
Yes,
your
go ahead,
problem.
sir.
Your liberalism.
Yeah, see, the issue
Yeah,
is when
okay.
you interrupt me, I wasn't making a straw man of you. But when I interrupted you, you were making a straw man of me. I didn't bring up animals. That's something that you brought up and then claimed that I brought up.
You gotta
That's
get
why I
there.
interrupted you. So quit being a liar. Quit making straw men. Be an adult. If you want to have this conversation. And now go pout and pretend like you're not here. Good
Oh,
boy.
hey, Pixie, I didn't notice you in the chat. If you want to join, you can. Jill is being Jill right now, so
If you haven't had Concord grape juice yet, so that's your dilemma. Your dilemma is you cannot deal with the argument on a human level. You have to try to bring up God, who you don't even believe exists.
You brought up
Right.
God.
So if you want to bring up God,
Whoa, whoa,
then
whoa.
we can lower.
So
Jill,
once again, I have to
you
interrupt
brought-
I
you.
was just
you
talking.
brought up.
You
I didn't.
brought God up.
You brought up God as the ultimate lawgiver, so don't fucking go there and say that Jill Serp did. God, that fucking
Lawgiver.
confused me.
Lawgiver.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not
So you're
talking
lying
about
That's usually
again.
God.
He gives us the law. He gives us the law. So that's
So he's
that's an
now he's just
objective-
trying to avoid it.
That's an
we're
objective
pointing it
standard.
out.
He gives us the law. So lions don't give us the law.
Classic.
Right.
Bears
So
don't
yes,
give
Jill.
us law.
Jill, I agree.
we don't
Let's stick on the
behave-
human level.
We
Right.
don't
Let's stick on the
behave
human
like
level.
animals.
Don't bring up God.
How we're not
Don't bring
supposed
up animals. And what was that definition that you said that's on only the human level? Right? Lawful? We're talking about the lawful?
to. In a
okay.
Christian, yes, lawful. In a Christian society, that would
No,
not
don't bring
be
up God. Don't bring up God.
Excuse
Remember.
me, I'm not bringing up God. I said in a Christian. Can you hear?
You just-
Take the wax out your ears.
Wait.
I said in a
When
Christian
you bring up
society. Excuse me,
Christian,
sir, I'm not finished.
you're
I'll
referencing
come
God.
back. I'll come back when I have this to speak.
Yeah, then
I'll do
leave.
that.
You can't be honest, leave. I know you understand when you bring up Christians, you're invoking God. It's stupid to think otherwise. He set himself up for a standard he can't possibly use. I think we should make him stick to it.
Well, I mean, he's still here. I haven't kicked him out, so
Yeah, he's still here. He's pretending to be gone. He may have got up or something, but he's gonna go pout.
you know, it really
stretch.
bothers me how people like Jill think that just because somebody is for abortion, that they don't somehow value human life, or
human life.
understand. Shut the fuck up! I'm talking. This is my stream.
All right. So what was I saying?
Okay, well, fuck you.
yeah,
And go
so-
ahead.
In a Christian worldview,
Oh no, bringing up God.
where we
No,
get our-
can't do it.
regardless of where we get our.
You're out of topic.
no, excuse me.
Go back to the
I'm
human
trying
level,
to
Joe.
say, When
Back to the
we
human level.
talk about a Christian community,
No, back.
we have
yeah, no,
standards,
no Christian. That's
and
invoking
in
God.
our
Time out.
worldview,
I'm just going to sit here. You're not
God
getting
doesn't
there,
exist. In our worldview, killing
Joe.
innocent children is wrong.
Joe. What the
So,
God
and-
worldview?
So killing innocent Jews is wrong. In your worldview, killing innocent children is
You have
not
no
wrong.
idea what my worldview is.
I know in your
And you're bringing
worldview,
up
killing
God
innocent children. I didn't say anything about God. I know in your worldview, killing
What-
innocent children is
Oh my
okay.
God,
Jill,
why are you so
who-
retarded and dishonest?
Jill,
Game
who's
over,
a
liberal.
Christian? Jill, what is the Christian worldview?
I don't even think Serb is liberal.
I'm liberal in the sense that he likes.
Oh,
I'm not liberal in the sense where when he says it, he means basically the opposite of Orange Man bad. Jill, answer the question. What is the Christian worldview when you bring up the Christian worldview? Is it not invoking God? Are you just trying to smuggle God into a conversation that you said we shouldn't bring God up in?
You know, you can have a Christian worldview. There are nominal Christians who don't even believe in God. Genius.
Okay, so no
you
God.
You lost this one, buddy. You lost this one.
No, I'm
Your
fine with that. So
worldview
no God. You're not
stinks.
invoking God, are you?
It allows the murder of children, the killing of children, innocent children.
Whoa.
Stop
Whoa.
using the word murder. It's kill.
Wait,
That's
you need
more-
a
Killing
law.
of innocent children. That is murder.
Wait, to
according
claim
to our
it's murder.
worldview. That
wait,
is
to
murder.
claim,
Yes,
to claim it's murder.
because it's an
you need a-
innocent person
No, to claim it's
that
murder,
did
you need a
nothing
law.
wrong.
Chill.
Could
Yo,
be
I
born.
get you. Let's Serb
Oh,
talk.
not born yet, but
Yeah, to claim it's murder, you need a law and an authority behind it.
already answered that. The Christian worldview says that
And that
killing
is
children is wrong. That's
Yeah, but
our
Yeah,
why,
ethic.
but
why did
why
they
is
wait,
it wrong?
why?
That is what our ethic says.
Okay,
That is
why?
wrong.
Why? Explain
That's
it.
what our worldview says.
Explain
That's
it,
why.
Jill.
I don't have to explain it. If
Yes,
we're
you do.
talking about,
Is
if we're
there?
talking about
Is that a
worldviews,
law? Is
it
that a
is a law.
law
It's
inside your
our law
worldview?
that we created in our society, just like you
Okay,
created a
if
law
it's
in
a
your society.
worldview, if it's a worldview
Okay,
that
and
you're totally
You
against in your
created
whole
laws
sect of
in your
if it's
society. We
if it's
created
if
laws in
it's
our
wait,
society. Which
if
one
it's
is
a
yeah,
better?
worldview that you if it's a
Our law
worldview and you and
says
your
that
whole
we are not
sect
allowed to kill
forget it.
innocent humans. Your law says that you are allowed to kill innocent humans. Which one is
I,
better?
I
Which one
I
is
don't know
more
why you say
moral?
my law.
Ours.
You don't even know if I'm for or against abortion.
Okay, game over.
Yeah.
No,
Who's
hold
Try
the
to
on,
invoke
sir,
authority?
God.
Oh,
sir,
wait.
Yeah,
Who's
sir.
we
the
don't need
authority?
God to defeat you. We don't need God to
Who
defeat you.
who is the
Our
authority behind
worldview
this
is
law that
better
you're
than
claiming?
yours. Every social statistic says so. Our worldview is better, whether it's marriage,
I'm
whether
not
it's
arguing
life,
about which worldview is better.
whether it's
Why are you running
whether
from
it's
this, Jill?
If
diet. I'm
okay,
not
if your
running from
worldview is so
anything.
right
Our
in your
Claim
sect of
victory and
worldview
Christianity,
retreat.
why don't you
does
guys do
not
something
have
about it
to
instead of
invoke
stand and
God
talk
to
about it? That
defeat you.
makes you in the
Okay,
wrong.
can
In
we?
social worldview.
I
You
know,
Yeah,
have to
wait.
PJ,
bring God
PJ.
into
I
the
know you
picture
haven't
because you
talked.
can't defend your worldview on a human
Yeah, but
level.
we're gonna need to like force mute people and go back and
Yeah.
forth.
So just
And then if someone's not talking about the subject, we just need to kick them out or make them recite what the other person said. Right. So,
okay.
Jill, who is the authority behind this law that is in your community, your worldview?
Bro, Joe, to be fair, I'm trying to moderate, so fuck you on that. But that was funny. Now you can answer, Jill. I just wanted to comment on the
Well, I'm
Bro,
sure
Joe.
I already answered, but I didn't. But I'll just repeat what I said again. Our worldview, the societal laws that we came up with together as a society, as a Christian society, say that you cannot murder or kill. Excuse me, don't offend you and your stinking worldview. We cannot kill an innocent person. That's what our worldview says. That it's
I,
wrong to kill an innocent person. That's what we've come together and what we've decided as a human, part of the human society or human segment of the population. The Christian sect says that that is wrong. Now what?
oh, I
Okay,
Let's see
want to
what
so
ask what's
let's see what you came together and decided.
so you're claiming that the Christians don't believe the authority is God. The Christians think the authority is
It doesn't
themselves.
matter. You're trying to bring God into the picture
don't
because you
interrupt,
cannot
Serbs.
defend. You cannot
I
defend
don't care if you think
your
it matters. Answer the question.
you cannot defend your worldview from
What
on a
what do you
human
think my
level.
worldview is? I haven't given you one yet.
Your worldview allows for the killing of innocent
Does it?
humans that are not born yet.
I,
Yes.
I don't
You
know what you
just
think in my worldview
okay.
says
Now
that.
he's backing down.
Okay,
Okay,
hold
good.
on.
Then come
No,
join us.
no,
Then
Hold
come
Jill.
on.
join us.
Jill, why don't you ask him outright what his worldview is rather than
Come join us.
assuming?
Yeah, Jill.
Does
All
your
you have
does
from
your
me,
worldview
Jill,
allow?
go back. Let's go back and find me
Well,
claiming it.
let
Go
me
back.
let me
Right.
ask you: does your worldview allow for for the killing of innocent children before they're born, innocent unborn humans? Does your worldview allow for that? Does it say that that is okay? Is
Yeah,
that
there are.
good or
I
bad?
think there are. My worldview is that there are niche situations in which it is allowable.
Okay, all right, so good. And what are those situations?
Let's say a
Excluding
pregnant.
excluding medical or the 1% of the
1%. Oh.
cases, medical issues, the woman's life in danger. So we're talking about on-demand abortions. What they call on-demand abortions.
Hey, that's not what
97%.
I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
You
Oh, of
asked me
course
a
you don't want
question.
to talk about the majority of the cases. You want to try to talk about the
Well, I said
1%.
niche.
Well, hold on. Well, Jill,
Ah,
He
Jill,
doesn't
Jill,
even know
good
what
let
I'm
job,
him.
talking about.
liberal.
Jill,
Good job. Let's
Jill,
just ignore the
Jill,
97%. Yeah.
let
What?
Serb give. Go ahead.
Jill doesn't even understand. I'm on his side of most of this. He's just being an idiot.
Sorry,
So,
PJ. I don't know if actually no, PJ
but
left.
I still want to. Before I answer this and give you the like a few niche situations in which I think it's allowable, I want Jill to answer my question. Do the Christians think that the authority behind this law in your worldview is themselves
matter.
or God?
Irrelevant.
I don't care if it
irrelevant.
matters or if you
For
think
the
it's
sake of
irrelevant.
this
Answer the
discussion,
question.
it's irrelevant because you're not going to be able to use that as an excuse.
I just
It's
want you to answer
irrelevant.
the question.
No,
If it's
no,
irrelevant, then it can't
irrelevant.
possibly hurt your situation.
Irrelevant.
Okay, now
Well,
answer it.
No,
Yeah, answer the
not
question.
for the case of this discussion.
Okay, then I'm not
For the
answering
case
your
of this
question.
discussion. That's fine. You already
It's
lost
irrelevant,
the
Joe.
discussion,
It's
so
irrelevant, Joe.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
You don't have
my
any
answer to
defense
your
for it.
question is irrelevant.
That's right. Good.
Yeah.
Move on.
I win, you lose. Get out of here.
Good. Move on. Can't defend your abortions.
Wait. Who said abortions? You didn't
The
ask me
niche.
about abortions. You said
That's the
you said
niche.
the killing of innocent preborn, I guess, people.
Oh, what about the strawberry heads? The 0.
I can't help that you're too dumb to think that there are other
0.0001.
situations than abortions.
The 0.1%.
Okay, Jill, quiet. I want to hear.
Let me
actually
prop
wanna-
that up as my argument.
Now, I think
Okay.
we should just hide Jill until
Man.
he answers the question I
That's
asked.
sad.
Okay, well, there you go. Removed
Yeah.
from stage. She's still here, but
Yeah.
go ahead. Give the other situations that. Just go ahead.
Okay, I'll give an. I'll
And
give
he
the other
left. And he
That's
left.
fine.
But go ahead
I'll
anyway.
give the other situation on the condition that if he comes back in, he doesn't get shown until he answers my question.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, for example, if and this isn't an abortion, as far as I can tell, by any definition, if a pregnant lady goes crazy and picks up a machine gun and starts shooting at me or other people I care about, I think I'm allowed to fill her full of holes, whether she's pregnant or not.
I guess technically it wouldn't be a medically induced abortion. It would. That's Jesus Christ.
Jill
man.
has no intelligence on the subject. The best he can do is quote other apologists that probably actually have no intelligence either, and they just quote other apologists there.
And that is why I think I should become a Christian one of these days, so I can thank God for not making me as dumb as Jill or others. But then again, that might be going too far. I should just appreciate who I am.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think in most situations in which you could technically get an abortion, even if it isn't illegal and therefore technically not murder, I would still say it's wrong.
Okay, you're a bro, Joe. Just wanted to make sure I authenticated. Game over. Chill.
Yeah, I think I am.
No, yeah, you are, bro, Joe.
Yeah.
Or you're the collective intelligence that presents itself
Well,
as bro, Joe.
So I need to ask, why do
Oh.
you continue to engage with this guy?
Oh, I can tell you that because I got him into a corner to where if he says God isn't the authority in the Christian worldview, then I got a clip I can put out there and it destroys his reputation, and that's fun for me. And then if he says God is the authority, then that destroys his whole entire argument in here, and that's also
Good.
fun for me.
What reputation are you destroying?
Oh, reputation amongst other Christians.
Do you think he has a good reputation amongst other Christians?
Yeah, against some of them, yeah.
Who would you say thinks Jill
Beckel.
is a good Christian? Beckel?
Yeah,
Okay,
Beckel.
Beckel.
Michael's probably
Yeah.
the biggest one that's hanging around.
And Smokey.
Yeah, I think the Smoky one's kind of given kind of here and not here, back and forth, touch and go.
Yeah, he shows up. He occasionally shows up on your best friend's channel. It doesn't really do anything else.
Yeah, Jill, come back anytime you're done being a coward.
Well, what I'm saying is, why continue to disengage? Nothing's really going to change. He's disingenuous. He's dishonest.
But for the same reason I come in your rooms, it's fun.
Well,
That's why I do it.
Challenge.
but no, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying this is Jill. This is the same thing over and over.
Kind of. I mean, I get him to do things that it's kind of practice, right? He's as hard-headed as it comes in believing in his God. And I get him to say things that are just counterproductive to what he believes. And I think it's like a video game. every time I get Jill to say or imply his God doesn't exist, I get a big smile on my face.
But no, I really love the way he was trying to say, we're not talking about there are some Christians who don't believe in God, but we as a Christian nation decided that that killing innocent children is wrong, murder. Like, okay, as you brought up, weren't there babies in the flood? Which that's a legitimate fucking point.
Thank you.
Right, that is a legitimate point. Like, what happened to all the babies that were alive during the time of Noah?
What about
Just-
the firstborn in Egypt?
That too.
What about the Amalekites?
God has literally killed so many goddamn babies in the in the Bible that it's stupid to say, oh, it's against God's law.
No.
Go ahead.
Just read his last comment. Serb got destroyed on abortion. And here's why he thinks it got destroyed. Oh, wow. Forget the liberal thing. Let's see.
Just asserting.
The Christian worldview holds killing children is wrong, period, even if God doesn't exist. I literally just, I mean, when he said killing children, I know he means to say abortion, because I don't see how he could disagree with the example I actually gave that wasn't abortion. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's talking about abortion. If he was actually listening to me, he would have heard me say, I think it's actually wrong, even if it's not technically murder. He's too
Isn't
busy being
Mino's that
stupid.
that second sentence ridiculous? The Christian worldview holds killing children is wrong, period, even if God doesn't exist. But if God doesn't exist, there is no Christian worldview.
Jesus, allegedly, Jesus still existed. So, yeah,
But
it's
I think that's technically correct. The Christian holds that killing children is wrong, even if God isn't actually true. They believe he's real, right? But if you're going to say if he actually though doesn't exist, but they believe he's real, I think he's actually technically correct.
well, broken clock can be right twice a day. So good job, Joe, with that one.
But he won't admit the actual authority behind the Christian worldview and those laws is God. For some reason, he won't admit that. It's bizarre.
How could the Christian worldview exist if God doesn't exist?
Well, you can have a society of deluded people.
Yeah. Like Jesus exists, Jesus still existed, and he did what he did and said what he said. Right? He had 12 disciples, which
But Jill was
went
writing the
around.
sentence.
What was that?
Jill was writing the sentence. We know what he means by God and Christian worldview.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
So that's just how he got wrapped around himself, trying to argue against me. He made the claim that we shouldn't bring up God when talking about human standards. So now he has to say ridiculous things.
See,
Okay.
you want to deconvert him?
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think anyone could deconvert Jill, even Jill. Jill has such a lack of self-reflection.
It's really quite disturbing, actually.
Like if he deconverts, it will be because of just some random event. And I don't mean like life event. I mean some like little piece of radiation will fly through his brain and like fix something, and then he'll deconvert. Right? It's not going to be up to anyone.
Or maybe he grows a tumor in his brain.
Yeah. Or maybe he has a tumor right now, like a fatty tumor.
Yeah.
Maybe a tumor actually shrinks.
Yeah. Maybe that could be it. It's just not going to be me. It's not going to be any person.
Maybe the radiation will shrink the tumor.
But I use Jill to deconvert other people. He's really useful for that.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be Jill. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck this. I don't want to be this. So I was like, I've deconverted.
I like to
He's-
find an ex-Calvinist who is deconverted, who's now an atheist, and see what it.
Oh, do you know any?
See what they have to say.
Yeah.
Like I don't know of any. Like
So subjective in the end, but
the background to that belief, Calvinism, is, I mean, they won't ever admit this, and I don't even think they even think about it, so it probably doesn't occur to them that what year was John Calvin around? It's like 1300s, wasn't it? If I'm wrong.
I think it's later than that. John Calvin.
1500s, sorry, 1500s.
Born
They
16,
have to believe, right, that
I mean, 16.
everyone, basically every major theological figure from John Calvin, going all the way back to, with maybe the exception of Jesus, going all the way back to even the founding of Judaism, right? We're talking thousands of years. They were all wrong.
Yeah.
Right? They was all wrong until John Calvin came out and said, "No, I'm right."
Exactly.
And that's just,
But I make
an absurd belief.
But Sherb, I make the same argument as far as even Judaism or Christianity before Calvin coming into existence after other religions, meaning that if this God, Father of love and truth, he allowed the lie of other religions to come in thousands of years before allowing the so-called truth to be told. Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Yeah, it's about basically the same argument.
Well, I don't know much about this fucking guy. I do know that apparently to be a Calvinist is to hate yourself so much that you deserve to be punished. So I gotta ask, did that whatever the fuck his name is hate humanity that much that he created an entire religion of self-hatred, but added a loophole to where some people are chosen to be saved? Like, I don't know. It seems so fucking bizarre thinking about it, right? Like there are these chosen people who are saved, but the rest of humanity is, the rest of humanity deserves to fucking die, and we as lowly humans cannot judge what God does, even when we know what God does is immoral, like killing babies in the flood and all that. Just I've heard Veckel say this shit like, "Oh, we can't judge God. It's impossible for us to judge God. Like, who are we to judge God?" Okay, so if God, heaven forbid, if God kills your daughter, you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, my daughter's dead. I can't really complain to God."
Yeah, and it
Like,
leads
what
to
the fuck?
it leads to a kind of paradox. Like let's say I have another kid born from a baby. He is locked in a tiny dark room. He gets like fed through tubes and stuff, like the most horrific thing you can think about. He never has any interaction with any other people, right? Can never hear about the
That's a
Bible
fucking life.
or the Torah or any Christianity or any religion. Under that worldview, he could be one of the saved ones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
So-
that's definitely.
So
A
the
good
question
point.
is, what is the point of the Bible? It removes the whole entire point of the whole religion.
I really wish Veckel was here to answer these questions because I have no fucking idea. I mean, I guess they would say to your example that there's no way your son could be one of the saved because he never heard the Bible or he never heard like the good news. But as you pointed out, anyone can be saved. We don't know who the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Even
they don't know.
atheists
That's what I would point
could
out.
be saved.
They don't know, and in other circumstances, they would admit there's no way for them to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like it seems like moot. It's like, hey, you know what? You're gonna win the lottery, and you're gonna win the lottery, and you're gonna win the lottery, and nobody wins.
Yeah,
That's what it seems like to
as a
me.
Christian, yeah, I mean, we would believe that a person could be saved up to their deathbed. You wouldn't even know they got saved. Maybe You know, you would hope they were getting visited by Jesus in a vision.
You know what? That's actually a good point. Like, how many people have actually been saved on their deathbed? I would like to think Jesus is like, well, you know what? You were a fucking asshole your entire life, but you believed in me before you died, therefore you have a pass. Or they're like, nah, man, it ain't that easy, brah. Like, what, what happens? Like, you know what I mean? Just
Zero got saved. The answer is zero.
Yeah, so it's like,
Because we're getting saved from.
and also I was on Ace Fio's stream the other day. I think I don't know, Brojo, you weren't there, would you?
No.
On Ace
Today.
Fio's?
I had a hang today. We had a long one.
Oh,
Today.
I don't mean today. I think it was yesterday or the other day or something. Well, the point
No, I
the
might
point
have
is,
popped in the chat or something momentarily.
the point is that the Ace Fio was talking about how when someone dies, you know, they get like they have their soul cleansed or whatever, which kind of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, which they have a soul scrubber in there, but that's besides the point. But it's like you have somebody like Hitler or Stalin or, you know, any dictator you want to think of, right? After they die, rather than being punished, they get their soul scrubbed. They become a whole new person. It's like it's like their entire sins and their entire actions that they've done in life just gets scrubbed away, deleted.
Oh, you mean
You know
like
what I mean?
washed away, from, like
Yeah,
from the blood of like the blood of Jesus?
well, that's what Ace Fio was talking about, right? Once people die, like they'll be cleansed of their sins. So that means someone like Hitler will be reborn again or some shit.
Yeah, the idea of a purging too. That's the idea, right? Like
I mean,
a purging.
I don't believe in God or religion and all that. But even to me,
Fine.
universalism just seems odd. Like, you know.
Maybe we're just all beings and we're just continually being refined every day.
Well, I mean, if you wanna, if you wanna be wiggling forces.
Mhm.
I was expecting Syrup to laugh at that, but I guess not. He unmuted, didn't say anything, and muted again.
Oh, sorry, I had my microphone up. Yeah, wiggling forces. The answer to all questions.
Yes.
It's not very informative, but it's always correct.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I mean, it's informative to the people that know why it's like why it's informative.
They only appear to be wiggling.
Well, no, like at the lowest level, everything is vibrating.
That's true. Everything is vibration.
Yep.
Energy.
Well, given that Ace Fio is live and JG is still live, even though he's playing music, I'm
Yeah.
gonna end this in a sec.
Well,
Let's see. Plus size
Yep.
BLM writer Meatball arrested. Wait, so their name is Meatball?
are you? Is it because you're going to one of those other hangs?
Either that, or I'm just gonna go and read or do something else. Like, I don't know. Unless you wanna, you guys still want to talk here.
Oh, was he? Oh, I don't care either way. I'm just going to say, Jill, I already answered. I gave an answer that fits that question. You can go back and watch it. You were too busy being stupid.
Yeah.
You know, it would be so funny if Jesus appeared to Jill in a dream and told him what a fucking idiot he is.
I should add, if you're brave enough to answer my question that you thought was both simultaneously irrelevant but acted as if it would completely destroy your argument, if you answered that question, I would tell you my answer again, so you wouldn't have to go back and look for it. Just throwing it out there.
Has Jill ever answered the question, what would God have to do or fail to do for you, Jill, to stop worshiping or loving him?
Not that that's way too direct. I don't think that's a question he would ever dare answer. Right, and if you held his feet to the fire like we did in here, or like we do in other places, he'd just leave.
Pussy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Probably isn't, I don't know, it probably isn't directly from Seitan Brudenkate, but that precept thing, right, had a big influence on apologetics when that became big with Seitan, right? He kind of popularized it again for people that didn't know about it. And it set up a standard of standard's the wrong word. It changed the goal of apologetics. Right. It stopped being about showing that God is real and started being about driving your arguments with non-believers into the realm of where you're the only one asking questions, and it's your job to make sure no one hears them. Right. So either you talk over them or you say something that shuts them up. Right. That's their goal.
Hey, Jill, answer the question.
You want to become the God you believe in. A total control fanatic. Control freak.
Well,
dictator,
you can't blame him. But
judge.
before that,
so I
the
guess,
standard before that, the standard for apologetics was evidence. It was all evidentiary arguments. And they got their butts kicked, like, for decades. So, if you can't prove them wrong, shut them up.
Yeah. Like Democrats.
Right.
Like Democrats, that's the irony, Jill. Look at that.
Well,
that's
honestly, I would like to know Jill's answer to this question. Would Jill kill his neighbor if God commanded it? This is another one. Would Jill kill his entire family if God told him to do it? We call those people schizophrenics.
Jill, God would never do that. We're in the new covenant now.
Oh, that's what
blah.
Mecco used to say. Yeah, like somebody actually asked him, what if God told you to murder your family, your daughter? Mecco's like, God would never say that. He will never say that to me. But what if he does? Well, he won't. But it's just around and around and went. He could not entertain the hypothetical. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. What, you don't think Abraham was thinking the same way you are? So wait, your thoughts are higher than Abraham, but those thoughts weren't going through Abraham. Oh, he would never ask me to kill my own son, right? But yet he was.
What the fuck was that, Dad? Oh, it was just a prank, bro. It's a prank. I didn't think he'd actually do it.
Oh, you don't? You don't know if I would have done it or not?
Oh shit! It's 11/7/23. Good God, JG still has the goddamn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Why wouldn't you think like Abraham? Why wouldn't you have the faith like Abraham, like it says that is dictated in Hebrews 11? Why not have the faith like Abraham? If God told you to kill your child, why wouldn't you say, well, I guess I would have to do it. I would have the faith. Then maybe God will stop me like Abraham will. Wouldn't that be the answer?
Yeah, you know what? Gio is right. Gio won't answer questions. Let's see. I actually let me get this interesting video I saw. Wait, hold on. Let me go to here. Okay, I just know I might be accused of being transphobic by playing this video, but it's really not transphobic. So,
Oh my God! You just reminded me. I have a video you have to share. It's incredibly transphobic, but it's amazing.
okay, well,
Yeah.
why don't we play your video first? That way I can play my video to see the show. See, I'm not just post the video. I'll play yours
Funny.
first.
It'd be funny if it's the
I have
same
to find
video.
it.
Okay, well, he has to find it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. You want me just to play it and you can share it, or you want me to give you the link?
I guess you could play it if you can do that.
It's the same video, right?
It'd be funny if it was.
I don't think so.
I know. It would
But-
be funny.
I mean, let's see. This isn't the same
Oh.
video, right?
No, it's not the same video.
Okay.
Wow,
No.
this looks scary. This looks creepy.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
I've been smelling my hole. I just got a sex change. It's already infected. It smells like shit and decay. Really good chance I'm gonna take my life one day. At least
What
I'll get
the
more attention
fuck?
than all those normie gays. It's a damn shame
Okay,
what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he could just wake up and not be a dude, but he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which men can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which
I shouldn't be
man
laughing. I should not be
where
laughing at this.
man.
No, it's ridiculous. You should be laughing.
To turn peepees to giners, they'll do it to minors, they don't care. Lord, I got gigantic feet, but I cut off my meat, cause my butt cheeks are covered in hair. Still got an Adam's apple the size of a planet. My name used to be Craig, but I changed it to Janet. Got brainwashed by the internet, left holding the bag. I cut my penis off, I could have just been a fag. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he can just wake up and not be a dude, but he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask
It's actually
which
really well
man
put
can be
together.
women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a
Okay,
hole.
now,
The hole
now,
really
is he actually?
stinks.
Is she
It's
actually?
covered in goo.
Did he actually
and
go
it
through the
smells like a combo
So many
of
questions.
roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it
One
will
second,
heal
we're almost
shut
there.
and fill in. Tell me which man can be women.
I need the link for this.
Okay.
I've been smelling my hole. I got a sex change. Now I regret it. I should have just been fucking gay. Just been fucking gay.
I,
That's fucking genius.
okay, now was
How
you know
do
was
find
he
this shit?
okay? Was the song true? God, I have so many questions. I
I'm
can't.
There was
not
a whole
sure.
contest. Wasn't
I'm
there a
not
whole
sure.
contest of people to use that song for something else, something like that?
I don't know. I don't know. I just randomly
Yeah.
ran across it,
Oh,
and I was like, I was watching, or wasn't watching. I was scrolling the memes, and one of the memes was a video meme, and it was the chorus to that song, and it took me like 3 hours to find it. I found the whole version.
oh man, that's great. Drop me a link,
Right.
I'll put
please.
the link out there. I don't. Do I have powers to drop the link in comments?
You
don't
should. If not, just say something and
Yeah, because I gotta open it up and
hang on a sec. Let me go back.
I don't know.
to
You just post it in comments,
I got it.
assuming you want it there.
Do you want it there? Oh, he's
Oh.
getting it there. Hang on. There we go.
Hold
He
on a
already
second.
let it.
Why
He already allowed it on his channel.
Oh well, yeah.
What is
it's
the
still-
LGBTQ community is gonna think of you now, Midnight?
Well, here's the thing. The beautiful part of that song is if you listen to the words, it's technically not transphobic because it
No.
has the question in it. You know, who was it? Who can you say? I forget, but it basically has the question: which men can become women? And it answers the question in the lyrics by saying those that trade their poles for holes. Right, so it agrees. It technically agrees with the trans community, in a sense, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think people
It
are going to
also
be
says
looking
it
at get
feels-
that far.
He's also
Go ahead,
saying he's
sorry,
feeling
interrupt.
pressured by the internet or
Yeah,
influenced by the internet.
Well, I mean, there are some people out there who were for I won't name any names. I know one. I think Serb knows whatever. But yeah, let's just play this.
The totally cis urge to click on a what to expect video about transitioning. Welcome and buckle in because this is going to be a ride. Softening of the skin is self-explanatory. However, it does come with the side effect of your friends or yourself touching your face excessively. That, in line with decreased oils of the skin, will give you a more feminine glow. Decreased muscle mass will make jars your new rival. However, it does come with a more feminine frame, so that's a huge W. And if you're at all a masochist like I am, being domed by a jar is not that bad. You'll also experience thin and slow growth of body hair and facial
I had to pause at that. Being donned by a jar is that
hair as well. Although rare, you may see some spots no longer grow at all. Something that might be very important for you to hear is if male pattern baldness runs in your family, you have permission to now laugh at your father because that will very likely not affect you. Body fat redistribution helps feminize your features even more, bringing fats to your face, your thighs, and away from the masculine areas in your body. If the first thing that came to your mind was you're going to save lives with your thighs, then congratulations, you're a degenerate like me. Let's continue. Breast growth means breast tissue means mammary glands, which means yes, you can breastfeed a baby or your boyfriend if that's what you're into, or your girlfriend. I don't really judge. You're also very unlikely to reproduce, so you might want to get a sperm bank to wingman for you. Naturally, there are risks associated, but don't get that information from a VTuber. Talk to medical professionals or look up reputable websites. But what about the mental side of things? Well, that's what I find most interesting. First, emotions are going to come in like a mule with nothing but the intention to beat the shit out of you. That said, the ability to feel emotions and actually cry is probably one of the most liberating things about all of this. In a metaphorical sense, testosterone makes emotions feel like a black and white film, whereas estrogen is like that, but a unicorn vomited colors literally everywhere. You do, however, adapt to this, making it a lot easier to manage down the road. With all of that said, I'm going to get into a timeline of before, during, and after. Before anything, and for those that don't know, to get your treatment, you have to go through a medical professional like a family doctor, that or a gender-affirming clinic. There is the third option of DIY, which I personally never recommend. However, if you're forced to take that option, try and get some doctor of some kind to at least oversee your chemical balances. At this point, it's day one, you have your titty skills, and you've consulted those around you that you think will support you. Month one is packed with anxieties and excitement. You've taken a step in a new direction, literally leaving your old life behind. And if you're like me at this point, you swear to yourself you'll never become attracted to men. We'll come back to this later. Between month 1 and 2, you're peeling off these old layers and emotions are really starting to throttle you. Now, at this point, you might be a blubbering mess at almost anything. You might even go out of your way to exasperate the issue because crying feels a lot better than the numbness of dysphoria and testosterone over the many years. And by exasperating the issues, I mean going out of your way to watch sad shows, etc. You know, scarring yourself forever by watching Your Lie in April. Just a random example. Just kidding. That show is not sad at all. You should probably go watch it. You can trust me. I'm a VTuber. Month 3 comes and oh dear Lord, you're not a double D goth waifu yet. Now, you know the process takes 3 to 5 years, but you swore it was going to be instantaneous. The devastating reality hits you that this is going to take some time. Now, you might have seen some budding already. Regardless of all of that, you know for sure that on average, this is where people begin to bud. And if you don't begin to bud here, don't panic too much because these charts and these averages are very subjective to your genetics. So you might just be a bit of a late bloomer, okay? Don't panic. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more subjective. However, maybe you were late. At about month 6, you finish your job, you're filling up your truck, and you're about to drive home. And as you're driving home, you realize your eyes kind of dart towards this man's very muscular back. Fuck, we're attracted to men now. It's very subjective to people's experiences and their preferences, but ultimately, some people do find that their sexual preferences change during transition. I personally became very attracted to men, and I only dated men for quite some time. At about this time as well, it started to kind of do some funky things with my brain where I would look at some dudes and I'd be like, wow, I would love to have his babies. Then I'd have to remind myself that, yeah, we don't have the utility for that, but it's a great thought. Those
Okay, I wanted to stop here a sec to get your opinion on that.
I would love to have his baby.
Yeah, it's an estrogen. Estrogen made it like, okay. Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing what what the effect hormones have on our bodies and mentality. But go ahead, sir.
So my answer to almost all of this is: if you're an adult, I don't care. Have at it. But it sounds like you're setting yourself up to disappoint yourself. Right? If you're setting yourself up to be as womanly as possible, seemingly going as far to make you want to have a guy's babies, which is literally impossible.
Yeah. She even said that. Like
Right.
she even said that she looked at a guy and the thought popped in her head, just out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
She even said that she even said that estrogen made her more attracted to men. I mean, it depends.
So wait, was she expecting to be a lesbian then after transition?
No, I don't think she expected to be a lesbian, but I don't think she expected to be attracted to men. I don't know. That's kind of a good question, but
And the whole idea of like, it's gonna, you're gonna realize it's gonna take longer. It's gonna take 3 to 5 years. It's not gonna be instantaneous. This shouldn't be a surprise. This should have been already talked about ahead of time.
Well,
Why,
yeah.
I do like though that this reaffirms one of the early rules of the internet, which is everyone's a dude, no matter what they say.
So Pixie's a dude as well, even though we know she's actually a girl.
Everybody's a dude.
Yeah. Like Pixie's plenty feminine enough, but you've talked to her. On here, she's a dude.
Oh.
If she didn't get on camera, I'd be like, sure, she's probably a girl. But the rule of the internet is everyone's a dude.
Okay, even Mindy then.
thoughts kind of came like hiccups. Like, it wasn't me thinking that. It just kind of popped into my head naturally. I don't know, kind of like an instinct or something. Maybe you relate, maybe you don't, but that's ultimately subjective again. Now, at about month 6, you may or may not see some more significant changes already. You might have an ABC cup as the most tangible thing to notice, but at this point, you have to realize that the changes are very subtle and you're not going to notice them yourself as easily as other people will. That being said, if you got to an A cup and you wanted an A cup, now you realize that you kind of wanted a B cup. Oh, also, it is month 6, so you probably ate about 20 jars of pickles or way too many chips. A year rolls in, it's literally your trans birthday, and you're still not a double D goth waifu. God doesn't exist, the world is cruel, everything means nothing, and literally everything just sucks. Nothing's worth fighting for. Just kidding. Take a breath. Calm down.
Jesus Christ, that's very nihilistic.
I feel like
Yeah,
they've
like-
been through some shit.
Yeah, I think this person did go through some shit.
I'm doing this because shit sucks. Now you're telling me it's gonna suck even more. I'm hoping a lot. I hope a lot who are considering transitioning sees this, because perhaps they'll change their fucking mind.
Okay? It's only been calm down. It's only been a year, okay? There's still 2 years of changes, if not 3 or 4. You may notice that you're microanalyzing your appearance. Well, good news for you, that's what all women do. Congratulations, I just made you euphoric for feeling insecure. Subscribe and like, please. At this point, you may realize that building authentic relationships with friends has never been easier or more fulfilling. You may also be looking at your former self like a completely different person because your brain literally isn't wired to be the same as you were before, especially with the new experiences you're having outside of the chemical changes in your body. From year 1 forward, things are subjective like they were before, but as things progress,
What's
so
that
do you as a
reason number
person. You-
6 not to get an operation? You gave. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, this is just talking about transitioning, not taking your dick off. Sorry,
Yeah,
not
but
getting
she's
the
saying-
operation.
She's saying your whole brain's gonna change.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not really far-fetched
Yeah.
to say that, considering our brains are changing all the time. Hell, even
Look,
now.
If
Go
that's the
ahead.
goal, don't spend thousands of dollars in like hormones. Just give me $1,000 and now I have a mallet.
Ooh,
We'll make some
Oh.
changes.
We could do hypnosis.
many trans people are actually into hypnosis, believe it or not.
Of course they are. They're changing into women. I would expect them to start talking about, star signs.
It's really amazing how many trans women want to be bimbos. Like, oh my god, I want to be bimbified. I want to be a bimbo. I want to be an airhead. Tee. Okay.
I used to claim a lot of them are sexist because they're trying to be the stereotype of woman.
I mean, I guess
really find that to be true. Midnight. That trans want to be bimbo-ish.
Well, yeah, I have seen a lot of trans people want to be that. Trans women, also femboys, but then again, femboys are just pre-trans. Although there are some femboys who never transition and are just happy being gay.
All right.
may go through phases, like the sun goes through seasons, but don't think it's cringe. Honestly, you should be exploring yourself and you should be allowing yourself to live the experiences that you always wished you did. Maybe by now you met someone special, or you have some friends that feel like the closest friends you may have ever had, and these are the important things. A lot of people focus on the physical aspects, but these are what are truly cherished in your memories. There is a lot you cannot control here, and sometimes just knowing that makes it feel a little bit easier. Yes, you can save for augmentation, and yes, you can get progesterone to maybe further your results, but ultimately, I invite you not to gatekeep yourself out of the experiences you think you deserve. Actually, I know you deserve, but you think you need to be at a certain point to experience. Allow yourself to meet new people. Sift through some bad experiences to find the truly special ones, the ones that you'll ultimately remember. Start trying things that you believe you do if you're a cis woman, because you're allowed to do that. You can just start being you. Literally today. And ultimately, if dysphoria is still throttling you, try and embrace who you are. You're the perfect someone for someone out there because you were born the way that you were born. Yes, the grass is greener on the other side of the field. And yes, sometimes these things are hard to accept. I am there with you. But there is joy and there is strength to be found in truly embracing the uniqueness that you are, especially in this day and age, because you are special in all of the right ways, even if some people out there want to make you think otherwise. The fact is they're wrong, so don't let them convince you. From year 1 to 3, you're going to see the bulk of your changes. Now, that is subjective again. I saw the bulk of my changes between year 2 to 4. I am still progressing after year 4 to date. It's really subjective on your genetics, but on average, you'll see the bulk of your changes between year 1 to 3. And then 4 and 5 are kind of just fine-tuning. And after all of that, the 5 years of excitement, pain, tears, joy, you realize that the time itself spent was magical and irreplaceable. I just hope that when you hit this point, you'll thank yourself for allowing yourself to embrace and enjoy the experience as opposed to holding your breath for the destination. I guess that's why they call it a journey. I kind of always thought that was cringe up until literally now. So enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time.
Yeah, nice sales pitch there. Not convincing.
Well, I mean, this video is not really for you. Although I guess technically it is, considering she said cis people who clicked on this to, well, whatever. But yeah, seems easy as to just be gay. Actually, you would think that, but
Yeah.
then why isn't Jill gay? No, hold on. Let me rephrase. Why doesn't Jill accept that he's gay? There, much better. I still think he's gay.
It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, Jill talks about butt sex more than I do, and I'm boy. Butt sex. Ugh.
You want a boy, but you feel like a girl. But how do you know what a girl feels like?
I mean, how do you know what a man feels like?
And then you think, all right, I'll get an operation to try to line up with these feelings. But this operation is going to maybe change who you're attracted to.
Well, are you talking about the operation of because there are a lot of trans women out there who do not get the operation. Like
Well,
they
she
just
said
take
she was
hormones.
starting to get attracted to men. And she
Yes,
didn't
but
want
that's
to be
not
attracted
yes,
to men.
but
She didn't want
yes,
to be
but
attracted to men.
I don't think she ever said she didn't want to be attracted to men. I'm just saying that's what she was explaining what's happening to her.
Yeah, but if she was feeling like a woman before, how come she didn't have those feelings before she took the hormones? If she was really feeling like a female.
That's the eternal question.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not her.
If what you were before transitioning was a woman, then why do you need to transition?
Well, because your body doesn't match how you view yourself.
Well, that's what they
transition.
used to say. That's what they used to say. But if you say then, so you have a man body, and then you get into the question, well, what is it about you? Then that was woman.
I guess their mentality, their psychology, their personality, their brain, their mind. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to grill you on it, right? But there's a whole. I mean, I've
okay. I know you're not. I know. This is. I know you're not. But I kind of. Never mind. It's on me.
I've literally had this debate multiple times in debate. Back when they were called transsexuals.
I mean, that term really hasn't been used in years. I do remember it was used. Then they went to transgender, which I guess was the same. I don't know. There's a lot of terms I don't hear much anymore.
It does seem to be easier, just to be easier a gay and be a cross-dresser.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of them want the body. Which honestly, there are some trans women out there who look pretty goddamn good. Not gonna lie. Of course, there are ones who do not want to get the operation, which is good for them. Because who the fuck wants that? $10,000 fucking dollars. Sorry, not 10,000. $100,000 to get an operation that you might regret later. All right.
seems,
Well,
it
hold on.
seems
I'll be right
Richard's
back.
sister didn't regret it.
Uh,
Or maybe it's just a facade. I don't know. Seems happy.
Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream now because a friend of mine just called me on Discord, so I'm gonna go talk to them. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, guys,
Oh, I see. I see how it is.
Let's
Love
go.
that
Yeah,
more than
yeah. Hold on. Before I leave, it's an actual girl. Okay. I needed to add that.
Actual.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
real?
As
What do you
opposed
mean
to
by
what
that?
other kind of girl, Midnight?
Yeah,
I should have. You know what? I
What
should
can I
have ended
say?
the stream first before saying that. Bye.
see, it's a real woman.